suggested that we meet under a disused yeti by the river.
Disused Yeti?
Hi, welcome to A Disused Yeti. I'm Risa Romano.
I'm Nandini Bapat.
And I'm Warren Jaycox.
And we are going to today be talking about New Companions, which is now that Jenna Coleman is leaving the show, or has left the show, I guess. Not even necessarily specific people, but just the types of people that we would be hoping to see as companions when the show returns.
All right.
Cool. Well,
I want to see a guy.
Yeah, me too. Me too, though. Me too.
I agree 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think it's like we've seen so many girls, and I think the thing is in the 20th century or 21st century, the thing is to create this hot chick that the Doctor likes or doesn't like. In this case, for the 12th Doctor, he won't have a romantic attachment to her,
Right.
but then she falls in love with him, and they didn't do it with Amy, which I loved. And that's pretty much the only companion I think they can call that with, because even Clara fell in love with him in some way.
I want to see a guy who falls in love with the Doctor.
Yes! Yes! Oh my god, yes! That would be awesome! That would be amazing.
Jack.
Oh,
Jack,
Jack, yeah.
right?
Yeah, Jack.
But,
yeah.
I mean, even then, Jack was like, it was funny because the Doctor was totally against it, you know? And, he met an incarnation of the Doctor that was clearly not gay. And I just think it would be really interesting to play around with that.
That would be interesting.
It would also be interesting because it seems I feel like we are heading eventually towards a woman Doctor.
Yeah.
And what's that going to mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true too.
And
yeah,
I mean, Capaldi says he's going to leave after this season.
Probably,
you know?
yeah.
So maybe it would be interesting if they brought in a male companion.
I hope not.
And then that male companion, if they changed to a female Doctor, would be an interesting dynamic.
Just to press me, I like Capaldi.
I'm sorry. I really like Capaldi too. He's so much fun.
I think everyone is mostly on board with him.
Yeah. I really do like him. I think, there's a lot of elements like the olderness. I like the cross eyebrows, and he names everything cross.
I really wanted him to be the Baker of our generation. You know what I mean? I wanted him to be, the guy that literally lasted, 7, 8 years or something.
Well, we're about due for whatever the Baker of this era would be.
It would be nice.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is with Capaldi, at least, with the whole showrunner not really sure what's going on. Typically, the showrunner and the Doctor leave at the same time. So if we're going to see Moffat leave in a year, then Capaldi would have to leave around the same time, just because the writing
would probably leave with him.
Yeah.
Are we still at the same place where we're not going to see any 2016 Doctor Who? Are we still there?
I don't know.
I think so. I think that it was going to be 2016, and then because they are changing showrunners, they're going to have to push it back. I don't know why.
But I mean, we're still going to see Moffat for another season,
right?
Yes.
So we're going to see.
I think it's more that they don't know who the companion is, because I'm an actor, so I keep my eyes on the ground for this, and they haven't really posted anything about making ideas,
incredibly secret.
Yeah, and so, if they're going to make a decision on they don't even have a script writer. They don't even have a decision on what kind of companion that they want. Because at Christmas, they just had no idea.
Right.
Yeah, we had no... I always, was holding out hope that, there would be some hint as to who is coming up. We'd, see someone and he'd say something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But they don't have any clue. They don't have any clue at all. So, I mean, if you really go to see, typically they start filming in, March or April for fall. Yeah. It's they don't even have a script ready. I don't even know how they don't even have a companion cast, and that takes a couple of months. So I don't even know how they're going to be able to get up and running for that. If we see something, it'll probably winter of 2017.
Yeah.
Is probably the earliest that we'll see.
All right, so if we see a guy, I want to see a guy in a kilt, and his name should be Jamie.
I would flip out if he came back. I'd be so happy.
I'm just
he's willing to do it, by the way.
That would be amazing. That would be so good.
But also, I like multiple companions. I don't think that they're going to do this. I think maybe Stephen Moffat's I'm done with that for now. But so if you don't want to not have any girls on this show, which I understand, I think there should be girls on this show. then have a couple of companions.
Yeah, maybe like a brother or sister.
Well, now
I like the idea of it not being a romantic attachment.
Okay, and that's a really good example. That's a good. Do we count like the significant others as also being companions? I mean, like was Rory a companion?
I believe
he was traveling
a companion
on the TARDIS with them by season 6 and season 7.
Okay.
So
I think he was because season 5 he really wasn't. He was sort of a guest star, like, hey, let's pop him in for a little while.
Right.
But by season 6 he was. If Amy was on the TARDIS, he was on the TARDIS too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, he was a companion.
Okay.
But I think we should have multiple companions because I think it just makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Brings us back to old Who, where there were multiple companions.
Yeah.
Always.
And I think it gives a great dynamic because it's not just Doctor and the chick who likes him. It's like, you know, it's more. And I like the brother-sister idea because, you know, you don't need romantic involvement all the time.
And you're not going to be wondering if there's going to be romantic involvement. It's like, no, absolutely not.
Exactly. So it's not another Amy Rory. It's not another Clara and P.E. You know, it's like it's.
Can I harken back to the original series then?
Yes.
I want to see. They don't necessarily have to be like teachers, but there's got to be somebody who doesn't believe anything that's going on.
Yes,
that's one of the things that I absolutely loved about those early seasons.
There was always someone who was completely skeptical.
It was like, this can't be happening. What's going on? How am I in Ming Dynasty? What you know what I mean? That kind of. I loved that. I loved that. I think that would be really fun to go back to.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
What if one of the companions was an older gentleman, like Mr. Noble, like Donna's grandfather?
Oh.
Like, you know, like an older gentleman or older
woman. The saddest man ever.
Yeah.
That's what Quinn calls him, like the sad. Because if you looked at his face, it was like, you always look very, very sad. Yeah. But yes, he was awesome.
But, like, wouldn't it be awesome if we didn't have a young millennial? Or, like, we had a young millennial and an older person. Maybe, like, a grandfather,
just mix
grandchild
it up.
thing.
Which was actually why the very, very first season, the Doctor was the grandfather.
Yeah.
He was the older gentleman. And then we had the young girl, and then we had the two
middle-aged teachers.
Right.
Yeah, and so maybe it'd be interesting to toss up the ages a little bit and have a little fun with, like, not just a, you know, young and 20s.
What I'm hearing is just we want something different.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's really one of the issues. I think that's one of the issues that people have with Moffat. It's just the fact that, my God.
It's not just Moffat, though. It was also with the previous thing. I think it's just the last two guys since 2005 it's always been the same kind of thing. I mean, because Rose, Martha, they were both the young and 20s people. I mean, they started
completely in love with them.
And I mean, we had a change up with Donna for a year, but even
she was a little bit older, which was nice.
Yeah, that was really nice.
And I hit her.
Yeah, nah. Okay, he's always complaining.
Everyone else like, I loved.
Yeah,
I hated
I think it was just she was a pleasant change from the young and 20s. I'm in love with him. You know.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So,
that was
and so that's really nice. And then of course we had Amy, who was in 20s, but she wasn't in love with him, so that was also nice. But I mean, I think since we've gone back to Clara, which
it's like reverted immediately.
And I think we just need something different, or fans are just going to start saying, you know what, there's better stuff on TV. I don't need to watch this.
Yeah,
and not necessarily contemporary too. Yeah. We can have someone from any time and anywhere.
So excited.
It could be alien. They could be in the past. It could be
I was so excited when I thought that Clara was going to be from Victorian England.
Right.
Like, that would have been amazing.
Future Clara, the Oswin character. I would have been fine with that.
Exactly.
One of the examples I go back to is Adric. It's like, I hated the little fucking bastard, and I was so happy when he was dead. But the idea that he was like from a totally different universe.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool.
Why don't we do that all the
time? Yeah. And so I think it's just they keep trying to bring in the young millennial because they want to appeal to a younger audience. I'm like, look, your younger audience is already here. You're not getting any new people.
Right.
You know, like, it's not going to happen. It's already in America. Like, we're already here watching it.
Well,
so
and there's also other ways to get in young people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are other ways than just having a, drop dead gorgeous 20-something in there.
Right.
You know, so
I agree.
Are there any not regular companions, but like guest stars who you would like to see?
I would love to see Craig again. Okay. I'm just saying. I would love Craig. I think he's a great character. I keep watching those 2 episodes with him over and over again. He's the one with... Okay, he's the chubby white English dude that he meets.
James Gordon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. The roommate.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
he
roommate.
would be
Yeah.
really cool. That would be really cool.
I just love his episodes. They're just so fun, and
they're both really fun.
Yeah.
Every time he was on, but it does create problems because he's got like a family.
Yeah. But I think like the guest star where Doctor pops in and does a little episode. Like I'd love to see one episode where he
more of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where he comes and visits. Of course, I'm a fan of River Song, so I will always love to see her come back. He hates her, so whatever.
She's dead now. She's dead. It's over.
No.
She's saved in the computer.
Yes.
Forever.
But it's time travel. He can meet her again.
Well, and you know what? Along those lines, what I was going to say is I would love to see Amy and Rory back in the what is it, the 18 something?
No. They were in 1930 something.
Okay.
They were like 1940s.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, just as a last little goodbye. Yeah. You know what I mean? That'd be fun.
I mean, because
that'd be really interesting.
The reality is with the Doctor with a new face, like we saw in the Christmas episode. Nobody knows who he is.
Yep.
So we don't even need to have him introduce himself as the Doctor. He can literally just pop in, do his little thing, and they can be like, who the heck is this guy?
Right.
And we can have a whole bunch of fun with that.
Exactly.
You know? And I mean, River obviously doesn't recognize him. So she can show up again as her younger self. I mean, she's lived for 200 years. It's totally possible that she'll totally forget his face by the next time she sees him. So as long as he doesn't reveal himself to be the Doctor.
Okay, that's my TARDIS telling us that our time is
fine. So yes.
Just one more. No?
I'm trying to think of another. Jamie. Let's call Jamie.
Jamie would be
Okay,
really
let's
cool.
just bring Jamie.
Jamie
Yes.
would be a really cool
Yes.
star. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and with Capaldi, because they just be Scottish each other
Oh,
all the time, that would be excellent.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
That'd be amazing.
All right, bye.
Bye. We're filming at the Galaxy of Comics.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Disused Yeti?